Welcome to the Halo Forge Epidemic. This is Darth Human, and in this episode of Forge Tips and Tricks, I'm going to show you several different locations in Forge World that allow you to go underneath water and not die. One of the locations is outside of Forge World. That is the deepest location in all of Forge World. It allows players to go up to 7 times deeper than any water in all of Forge World, and I'll go into further detail when we get there. The second location many of you don't know about. It is also the least useful, but, it's a little interesting to go ahead and mention it in this video. And the third location is actually inside Forge World, and once again, I'll go into further detail when we get there. So let's get started. So the first location, as I said before, is 7 times deeper than any location around Forge World. And as you can see out there, there's an arrow out there, and that points the location. And again, this is outside Forge World, so I'll just go ahead and show you how to get outside Forge World. So what you want to do is go to the very edge right next to the forest barrier, just about right here. Then all you have to do is open up your menu, go to gadgets, and then go to teleporters. And then while you're right up against the barrier, spawn a two-way node. And what this does is it actually spawns outside the barrier, and you can move it further away if you want, probably just about right there. And then once you do that, spawn another one outside of it, and then you can go through, and there you go, you're outside the map. Now there's a lot of cool things that you can do outside of the Forge World. One being that there is no ceiling height, so you can go all the way up here, and you'll eventually hit a soft kill zone right here. But what's interesting, worth noting here, is it's actually above the ceiling force barrier. So essentially, you actually have a lot more room if you're wanting to build a really tall structure, something like speed. I actually built that outside of Forge World, and so what I did was I built it outside of Forge World and above it, and that's how I was able to make the longest indoor ramp in Halo Reach. But the most interesting part about being outside of Forge World isn't actually just being outside of Forge World, it's this area that you can live underwater. And as you can see, it's pretty deep. Some areas are about 5 times deeper, but if you go right over here, it'll actually get deeper, and it is actually 7 times deeper than any water of all of Forge World. There are a few things you can do over here. I built my clogged toilet right around here, and that's how I was able to get the zombie spawn area so deep underwater, is because I built the map right here. But other than just being underwater, there's a few strange things that can happen underwater. First off being that it's almost impossible to drive a Covenant vehicle. I mean, right here I have a ghost already spawned here. If you start driving it, you just flip all over the place. I don't know if you can make a game out of it, but it's definitely something strange. The other vehicles also have strange physical properties. One being the Warthog right here. It's drivable. It doesn't flip as much as the Covenant vehicles. But as you can see, I mean, the wheels are obviously more visible. You start floating up to the top. I mean, you're doing like this wheelie thing. It's hard to drive. I mean, you lose a lot of your speed when you're only driving with 2 wheels on the ground. But I guess it's kind of cool, something different. And the Mongoose is actually the most drivable out of all the vehicles that you can choose from. You can reach full speed on the Mongoose, and you don't do that wheelie thing that the Warthog does. It's just slower. You can see the splashes and everything, and when you go backwards, you can do this cool little wheelie here, but that's about it. There are a few other interesting things that you can do underwater. When you have rockets, they have bullet drop, so when you shoot at a distance, they'll actually eventually drop and hit the bottom. But I'll let you guys go ahead and experiment with all the other weapons and vehicles. Once again, the map is in the download link below. You can go ahead and download it now if you want and check it out after this video. So for the second location, it's actually underneath the water. That being, I mean, obviously it's underneath water, but it's underneath the death barrier in the water. And as you can see that arrow over there, that's where it's located. Just like getting outside of Forge World, you just go over there, spawn a two-way node, put it underneath the water, just about on the ocean floor, spawn another one above, and then you can teleport to the bottom. But let me go ahead and walk through this one, and this is what it looks like. I mean, it's okay. The forest barrier right over here, it prevents you from going any further out where the death barrier exists. And I mean, you can also see the other deep water location outside of Forge World right over there. But the spot isn't really useful because when you jump, you die. Yeah, I mean, it's a place that no one really knows about, and so I figured, since I was one of the few that knew about it, I figured I'd just go ahead and show you guys where it's located, and anyone that can make use of it, go ahead and make use of it. Now for the third location, it's actually inside Forge World. So as you can see right over here, between these two land bridges, the one over here and the one over here, everything in between these two land bridges is actually much deeper than all the other waters around Forge World and around this island as well. But as you can see when you get over here, when I walk in, there's all this area that you can work with. And these blocks, they're at 0.9 height. If you go any lower, if you crouch, you'll die. And I think wall coliseums are actually different. Let me go ahead and get one out just to check for you guys. Yeah, wall coliseums can go to 0.7. I mean, if you look up, I mean, that's pretty deep. That's not bad. I mean, not as deep as the one outside Forge World, obviously, but there's a lot of area that you can work with over here. This is where I built Forsaken Lagoon. I have all these 5x5 blocks here, and it covers quite a bit of area. I think when I was putting all these blocks here, it took about, I think about 90 of them. And so that's a lot of area to cover. And considering that it's inside Forge World, and also near this island, there's a lot of things you can build. There are a lot of things. You can build maybe a boat, maybe a sunken ship or something like that, or maybe just a map that has a lot of underwater areas. Not only that, but also the area outside of Forge World, there's no land area that you can really work with. I mean, it's just all underwater. And so anything you build over there is going to be made out of blocks, gray pieces. It doesn't really feel too natural. The one over here, you get these two land bridges, and you can kind of just like walk up on the edge and kind of walk up onto the shore. So this is the third and best spot, or at least in my opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, the download link is below for anyone who wants to go ahead and download it and experiment with these several locations. And this is Darth Human, and I am signing out.